True personal growth is going to be painful, and that's okay. Your journey getting what you want is meant to be rocky because on that journey, a part of you is going to unalive. It's going to unalive, and that's painful. I hate that part of doing dailies because there are some self-talks going on when I have to do my dailies, or I don't want to express to somebody else who I'm hanging out with that I gotta do my dailies because it is almost midnight and I haven't done them yet. And that's growth right there. Pushing yourself out into these unknowns sucks. I freaking hate it. I feel parts of me die off, and it's scary. I don't like it. And I want everybody who is watching this know that it's okay. You're going to be scared. It's going to be painful when you're doing it. But remember, you don't have to be perfect when doing your dailies, your new life, because it's going to be messy. You're going to screw up. You're going to not be perfect. But that's the part that's going to bring so much satisfaction, so much joy to what you're creating, because over time you're going to get better and you're going to make some tweaks in your actions will just become more efficient. When you take more steps, you're going to do it mindlessly, but by an outside perspective, people are going to see that you're a genius, but you've been doing these tasks, these dailies so often that it doesn't feel like work. But in the beginning, just so you know, it is going to feel like work, because if you aren't already doing them for at least 30 days, starting something new will create new, I think that's my cat, will create new neurons, and creating neurons is telling your body like, F you, I don't like this. This stinks. You don't really feel it. I don't feel it in my brain when these new neurons are being creating, but I feel it in my body. My body's like, my nervous system's like, no. You're not going to like this. Setting priorities, being responsible, that's not fun. Hi, Louise. But, but doing it over time lessens that. And when you're doing these new tasks, we have to slow down, and become very aware of our feelings in our body. And from what I've seen, I don't really hear that talked about often. I'm not saying just meditate and just feel in the action. Like, you can do that. Joe Dispenza talks about just practicing the steps or doing the thing so that you then mindlessly do it, and then can do these tasks, which I can do great things with that. But my approach is stepping into the environment and doing the thing, pushing around. Oh my gosh, you want attention? No. Pushing around atoms. And you feel these resistance inside your body and become aware of them, label them. Practicing awareness of labeling these feelings will create long-term success in anything you do. These are very transferable credits you can apply to other new dailies. The credits can transfer. They're very transferable. They're not refundable because you're always going to have them, but you can transfer them. I find myself able to label what I'm feeling a lot more in my body instead of it just being feeling like a tension, a squeezing in my body. I'm able to label what this squeezing is based on the environment around me. So when I'm wanting to go on my phone, I think, oh, I want to go on my phone because I wanted to see X, Y, and Z because I feel tightness in my chest. And I don't like that feeling. And most people don't. And so I think, oh, I'm going to go on my phone because of this. Before I'm going on my phone. I just want to go on my phone. But going on my phone and saying, I'm going on this for this reason makes me like second guess going on my phone. And that second guessing is what progress is. And adding a buffer between every tasks and saying, why am I doing this? What am I feeling, and why am I reaching for this? Will help break a lot of habits effortlessly if we just stop, ask why we're doing it. I'm not saying don't do it, but just bring awareness to why you're doing this. Why am I doing this? What am I feeling in my body? How does my chest feel? Why am I wanting to do this? Because Joe Dispenza, back to the Holy Grail, Holy Lands, the God, Joe Dispenza, 95%. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but it feels like it to me. 95% of us, no, 95% of the day, we are just doing things subconsciously. No, unconsciously. Subconsciously? Subconsciously. Not unconsciously, because that means we're passed out unconscious. We're doing things 95% subconsciously because we don't like to think and take action because that takes a lot of work. That's why 5% of the time when we do actually do new things, it's hard because 95% of the day we're just doing things on autopilot. You're not trying to really think when you're writing your name. You just do it effortlessly. Because remember in the beginning how hard it is to write an A or the Z or a W? I do struggle, but it's effortless because we do it all the time. But if we do take a break, it's a lot harder. Like when we were in school and then we had summer vacation and then coming back in September, writing was horrible. I didn't touch a pen all summer long. But as I started writing more, it got easier and easier. And then it was effortless. My brain was like, yeah, I'm used to writing T's now, writing the J's. So what things do you want? What things don't you want? That's also a better question too. What things don't you want? We really got to just slow down. Awareness is what many of us have to be very familiar with. Bring awareness to why we're doing things. Are we seeking outside validation? I'm not saying don't do the task, but just think about that because that's a pattern break. And once your pattern breaks, you stop being your old self and you start creating your new self because it is going to be painful. Breaking the habit of yourself is going to be painful. Using the, again, Joe Dispenza's Bible of a book. Breaking the habit of being yourself. Breaking. You think breaking is going to be smooth? Shattering your old identity? Yeah, that's going to suck. But coming out of that is something new. And many of us don't feel that because we lose the sight of what we can do in a year. And we underestimate what we can do in a day. And we think, oh, that phrase, I need to repeat it. What we do in it, we underestimate what we can do in a day and we overestimate the phrases. We overestimate what we can do in a day. We underestimate what we can do in a year. And over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, so much can change, so much growth can happen. And me recording this, I can see my progress. I can see this new identity that's forming. I can get glimpses and sudden moments during the day where my old self wants to come through and take over. And I want to just ease back into it because it's familiar. But I know deep down that becoming this new identity, breaking the habit of being my old self and becoming my new self, is the version I want to be. And I'm grateful for my old self, because without that, I wouldn't know what I want to be right now. Because the contrast, the difference, is what life is all about. Pain is good, but be ready for it. Slow down. Remember what you want. I'm going to make a video soon about figuring out what you want, but it's quite simple. We all want to be satisfied. We all want to be content. We want inner peace. We want to have connection. And how do we do that every day without forming unhealthy addictions and roller coaster feelings? Because we all want to be stable, because that creates certainty in life.